Hey all, and welcome to Shadow Space, and we are commenting on another BCB video. This is called Woke San Francisco Immigration Judges Devastated After Trump Fires All of Them, then Shuts Down Court. This was uploaded May 3rd. This is being recorded May 5th, and link is in the description.
Speaking exclusively with two San Francisco immigration judges fired on Friday. We're speaking exclusively with two San Francisco immigration judges fired on Friday without warning or cause given. That means more than half of San Francisco's immigration judges have been let go since President Trump took office in January. Wow. Our investigative reporter, Hilda Gutierrez, has been covering the ongoing turmoil at immigration court all year. She joins us now with that story. Hilda.
12 immigration judges have been let go from this San Francisco immigration court alone since the year started. That's why two of the recently released judges tell me that their termination did not come as a total surprise. Judge Shutting Chen and Judge Jeremiah Johnson didn't show up to work last Friday expecting to be fired, but they weren't exactly surprised when it happened.
When I saw that Ima had a very emotional reaction and I started to cry in my courtroom in front of the parties.
We're all public servants. We've spent years of our lives serving the United States in this role. And no explanation, no thank you.
Chen was appointed by the Biden administration in 2022.
They don't think you did a good job.
Johnson was appointed a year.
Why do you think people who think that you did an awful, horrendous job are going to give you a pat on the back and say, good job. We appreciate that you did this. We appreciate that you ruined everything and you made it an enormous shithole.
Years ago, during the first Trump administration, the judges are
somehow
part of the
I don't think they're going to do that.
Judges fired by the Trump administration.
This would be like having any one of these Democrats be like, I think Donald Trump actually did a pretty good idea. He was given a rough situation, but I think that he did the best he could with what he had.
Across the country. In total,
You're an
the
idiot.
Department of Justice has fired some 90 immigration judges this year, according to the National Association of Immigration Judges. Judge Johnson says the pressure first came through memos.
So I saw that as soft pressure. It was giving judges the hint that they should hear cases a certain way, decide them quicker, move faster, less due process, essentially.
The Department of Justice has stated it evaluates immigration judges on how they adhere to the law, and in recent policy memos that it's attempting to weed out bias among judges. At San Francisco's immigration court, shockwaves from the firings were already being felt.
I'm saddened because the system lost great judges.
So we got to talk about President Trump / the Trump DOJ shutting down.
Did they? Because they didn't fire all of them.
The immigration court in San Francisco. A bunch of woke judges got fired because they weren't doing their jobs. And they're now shocked and devastated. And now the administration has moved to completely shut down the court. Now, we're going to talk about why this court is being shut down. The answer should be obvious. But this is just one of the many things that the administration is doing that he does not get credit for, right? When you talk about the issue of immigration, one of the main issues that we have is that our court systems are soft, especially in these liberal cities, okay? They're just allowing...
Has he done this to other courts? I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing about something like
who claim
this.
That they're seeking asylum, which they're really not, okay? They're economic migrants. They're here, for a better job, for a better life, and that's fine, but...
Well, we know that they aren't, because a lot of them are here on expired visas, i.e. they're not here seeking asylum.
Not the same thing as asylum, right? But Biden essentially allowed anybody who came to the border and said, yo tengo hambre, right? Yo tengo sed, to claim asylum, right? And you have woke judges who decided that, hey, yeah, we're going to just allow these people to stay and their asylum claims are totally legit, even though they're not, okay? And this court out in San Francisco, their numbers are shocking. And because their numbers are so shockingly bad, okay, when it comes to this topic, this is why they got shut down. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
San Francisco's immigration court on Montgomery Street is closing for good. ABC 7 Eyewitness News reporter Luz Pena is live with why the court is closing and how it will impact thousands of immigrants across the Bay Area. Luz.
That's the question.
Yes, Emma, the immigration court that is set to close today is a couple blocks away. But behind me is 630 Sansom. After today, this will be the last immigration court in San Francisco. 8 months ahead of schedule, the federal government is officially closing San Francisco's 100 Montgomery Street Immigration Court. We captured the last hours of service with one person remaining in line.
We're talking about 15,000 cases that are in limbo in San Francisco. It's a major hub of immigration in the United States.
Before the May 1st closure,
Yes, it
the
is.
Department of Justice fired at least 20 of the 22 immigration judges at the Montgomery Street Courthouse. In December, we interviewed one of them, Jeremiah Johnson. Why do you think you were fired?
For doing my job. Immigration judges preside over removal proceedings. That's what the law states.
Bill Hing, professor of law and migration studies at the University of San Francisco, believes the federal government was following the record of asylum cases that were granted here.
They wanted to get rid of immigration judges that were fair when it came to asylum cases.
Fair. Again, we're going to talk about the numbers, and you guys can decide whether or not you think what they're doing out in San Francisco is fair or not.
Well, I don't think numbers have anything to do with it. How do they determine? Supposedly, a lot of these people have come into this country and they've committed crimes. Maybe not all of them, but there are definitely some.
But let's continue.
I don't know.
Statement: the Executive Office of Immigration Review under the U.S. Department of Justice said they determined it would be more cost-effective to relocate its court operations at 100 Montgomery Street to the nearby Concord Immigration Court. In Concord Immigration...
So, it isn't Trump, it's the city, it's the state, and they're doing it to consolidate the courts because it's too expensive to keep that court and this court open. So they said, well, everyone is just going to have to go to this court now.
Advocates are concerned this closure
I'm just
will lead
confused
to
again.
multiple
No, I'm just
years of
confused
delayed
again.
hearings.
San Francisco, there are like 120,000 cases pending. In Concord, it's half 60,000. So that's where we are right now.
The Executive Office of Immigration Review said they will begin issuing new hearing notices to all parties whose cases are reassigned to the Concord Immigration Court. Millie Atkinson, director of the Immigrant Legal Defense Program at the Bar Association of San Francisco, said many still don't know where they will go.
We've had a lot of cases and received a lot of information about people who had their hearing changed and they were not aware of it, and they got a notice afterwards that their case was closed.
Advocates are concerned this closure could lead to confusion and potential deportation orders if people miss their immigration appointments.
Yep.
The Department of Justice
It might.
confirmed all the appointments from 100 Montgomery Street will be transferred to the Concord Immigration Court and 630 Sansom here.
Yeah.
San
So,
Francisco.
again, the question is, why was this facility shut down? Well, the reason why it was shut down is because these judges were
Well,
not doing their
I
job.
guess my question at this point is who shut it down?
In fact, there's a very specific judge here that we got to talk about who worked out of the San Francisco
Here.
immigration. Court by the name of Judge Diaz, okay? And they examined this judge's record over the past few years, and this should tell you everything you need to know about why is it that this court is being shut down. Let's read here. Detailed data on decisions by Judge Diaz were examined for the period covering fiscal years 2020 through the first 11 months of 2025. During this period, court records show that Judge Diaz decided 1,944 asylum claims on their merits. Of these, she granted asylum for 1,777, granted 59 other types of relief, and denied relief to 108. So basically, out of about 2,000, almost 2,000 asylum claims, this woman basically let all those people into the country, right? Every single last.
I mean, of the 1,944 claims that they decided, they granted 1,777. So it's 1944 minus 1777. Which is what? 7 and 4 is 7. And then 6. No. I don't know.
One of them were allowed to stay, right? Almost,
It's only like
almost
200.
every single last one of them.
It's not that many.
Allowed to
250. Thereabouts.
And you mean to tell
less
me
than that, I think.
That all of those people, you talking about a
Didn't make it.
94% acceptance?
Right. Cited. Granted 59 other types of relief and denied relief to 100. Oh, it says how many denied relief to, which is 108.
You mean to tell me?
Converted to percentage terms, denied 5.6% and granted 94.4% of asylum cases. See, because it's possible that they literally just happened to get all of the asylum cases where there wasn't anything wrong, and they were free to be granted their asylum claim. But this doesn't prove that.
All of those people had legitimate claims? Really?
Well,
really?
Because, like, you would think that it would be 50-50, but if coming here without a valid asylum claim is something that doesn't happen, then you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't be expected to see it.
But again, that's what these woke judges think. This is what they believe. They believe that it's fair. A fair system is that 95% of illegals, people who are trying to come into the country illegally but claiming asylum, should be allowed to stay. She only denied 5.6%. Insane. Compared to Judge Diaz's denial rate of 5.6%, immigration court judges across the country denied 58.9% of asylum claims during this same period. So, again, you're talking about one of these woke judges out of San Francisco, a denial rate of 5.6%, but the rest of the country, judges across the country, have 58.9% denial. Again, this is insane, right? Absolutely insane. But they'll say, oh, Trump fired me for doing my job. It's like, no, you got fired because you weren't doing your job. And that applies for...
Compared to the judge's denial rate of 5.6%, immigration court judges across the country denied 58.9% of asylum claims during the same period. Just as the San Francisco Immigration Court, where the judge decided these cases, denied asylum 28.7% of the time. See, and this is the thing, is that, like, even other judges at the court where this particular judge worked still denied people at a higher rate than they did. So, did they truly just get more cases that should have been accepted, that were acceptable cases? Or did they, due to pressure, just let in more people than they should have?
San Francisco,
let in people that they shouldn't have.
Right? Judges at the San Francisco Immigration
I don't know.
Court, where
you have to believe the system. You have to believe that they did it the right way.
Of the time, Judge Diaz's asylum grant and denial rates are compared with other judges serving on the same court in this table. Note that when an immigration judge serves on more than one court during the same period, separate immigration judge reports are created for any court in which the judge rendered at least 100 asylum decisions. So, check this out. For the woke judge here, out in San Francisco, 5.6 denial rate. For San Francisco as a whole, right? So, the judge is working out of the San Francisco court, 28.7%, which is well below almost 60% denial rate for the rest of the country. But yet they were saying, oh, we were fired for doing our jobs.
See,
right? It's like,
if you are in California You are in one of the states that has the highest immigration. Just had to watch a video of you saying this. So the fact that you have a lower rate of denying asylum than the entire United States or the average United States
No. You literally were
means
not
that
doing
you
your job,
actually
right?
deport less people.
There's no way that you can explain this type of discrepancy with, oh, well, I guess it just so happens that all the illegals, all the asylum seekers who actually have legitimate cases, they just end up in San Francisco, right? It's like, nah, that's not how that works, right? It's one thing if they were at 50%,
Well,
maybe 40%.
I mean, that may be true, but, like, and again, this discrepancy does not prove that.
I can say, okay, all right, plausible deniability. But you're talking about a 5.6% denial rate and 28.7% compared to almost 60% for the rest of the country?
Yeah, well, because if they were given more cases that should have been approved, then they would have a lower denial rate. At that point, you have to ask, is their criteria for determining whether someone should be allowed in the country the same as other people's or not?
Only explained by ideology. That's only explained by the fact that these judges aren't doing their jobs, right? These judges...
Ideology, interpretation of what a proper asylee looks like.
Literally are just allowing anybody who claims asylum to come into the country, right? They're listening to their stories. They're shedding tears. They're boo-hoo-whining, crying. Oh, yeah, you can come right on in, right? That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. So, when these judges boo-hoo-whine and cry, right, about being fired, they're being fired because they're not doing their jobs. And I would much rather have illegals wait in line, okay? If it takes a little bit longer, that's okay. And to actually get a fair case heard, right? Which means that it's not going to be a 95% acceptance rate, right? Get a fair case heard, get it heard right, correctly, to determine whether or not they should be in this country, rather than to have these individuals go through these woke judges out in San Francisco, and then they just get approved.
And this really is the problem, which is really a problem of transparency, in that I don't get to see the court case. I don't get to see the evidence. I don't get to see the documentation. I don't get to see what the court sees in terms of this person and their personality, who they are.
Right. Oh, you can stay. You can stay. You can stay. You can stay. Right. That's literally what they were doing. So the Trump administration has cracked down on that. Right. Not only did he basically fire all the judges, but he essentially shut down the court. Right. Altogether. Okay, done with it, right? We're moving all the illegals and the asylum seekers to another court where we can get some better results. So let me know what you got to stake. Make sure you like.
Still don't know. Still did not hear how Trump was involved in the firings. Once again, have two competing stories, and I don't know which one is true. I guess I don't know. It happens with fire stations, police stations, without warning. Just nope, you're getting shut down, and this fire station over here now is going to be working this other section because we can't afford it. This isn't something new.